On the way here. Faye. Tropical storm now will probably be a Category 1 hurricane by the time it gets somewhere in Florida. And it reminds me of a storm that we had here that also started out kind of weak. Wilma. It was a Category 2 when it entered the other coast. And when it crossed the land, it got stronger, which is highly unusual for a hurricane. And it was a 3 and then a 4 as it made its way up in a northeast fashion, coming right across here. The eye right overhead. A direct hit. First time it's ever happened here in recent history. And the only time, and hopefully the only time. Now, the first half of the storm is always supposed to be the bad end. You know, that's where, you know, the strength of the storm is. And when it came through here, it was an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. I mean, the best way to describe it is a freight train of wind that never stops. Not a gust, it's just a non-stop gust. And it just pounds you and pounds you and pounds you, and the house is shaking and there's a roar. And you know, it's like nothing you can experience. You're in the dark, you know, there's no light, there's no electricity, of course. Now, when that was over, everybody goes outside. The eye passes overhead, and it was a long eye. It was like 45 minutes to get overhead because it was such a massive storm. And the damage was pretty bad. I mean, a few people had cars that were destroyed from, you know, trees being knocked into cars. There were shingles off roofs, there were debris all over the place, stop signs down, traffic lights, that kind of thing. But it wasn't, you know, it wasn't devastating. We thought, okay, we made it through this, it's not that bad. And as they say on the radios that everybody's listening to, the battery operated radios where you have contact, back end's not going to be nearly as bad. The worst of it's over. Everything's okay now. But get back in your house, because here it comes, the back end. So you get back in, ready for the back end of the storm. Well, they called that one wrong. It was like a rubber band snapped or something. That back end came through here like nothing you can fucking imagine. This place shook. I mean shook. The garage door was going back like this, back and forth nonstop. The front door like this. I thought for sure it was going to blow off. And then the roof started to go. Someone yelled, "Leak on the roof over here!" Grab a garbage can over here, put it. Another pop, another leak over here. Grab a garbage can over there. Another one back here. Water coming through in the third spot. I'm trying to cover everything so the water is coming down in these buckets. And then it just feels like it's getting harder and harder, and it's just not stopping. Outside, I have plywood on all the windows. You know, 3-inch screws drilled into the concrete. Plywood starts popping off the windows. I send everybody in under this desk in a different room where there were no windows at the time. This desk was in there. Under the desk, safest place. This thing here, protect you. I mean, no windows. Everybody in the desk now. Then I go walking out in the family room. Windows, they're all exposed now. This storm's coming for 2 straight hours. It came like nothing you can imagine. And I stood there listening to the house shake, feeling that storm shake me, literally. And I got a confession to make. I have never felt more alive in my life. I don't know if it was being that close in the middle of something like that, 150 mile an hour winds just pounding you. I don't know if it was just knowing that you could die at any moment. I mean, you could just makes you feel more alive than you ever have before. Or it could just be that I'm fucked in the head. All I know is those 2 hours when I stood in that living room, watching that storm, feeling that storm surging, it was the most alive I ever felt in my life. Now, the after party was no fun. No. The cleanup's no fun, and no power and all that, but those 2 hours, they were scary. They were exhilarating. They were alive. And I don't ever want to experience it again. That was enough. So let's hope Faye doesn't do that.